In this session, we're going to talk about developing a more advanced site plan using the site plan editors and also the layers that you want to surface. It's going to be a little bit longer video, but stay tuned and you will learn a lot from it as far as how the site plan editor can help you developing the base that you need for developing your projects. Now, you find the project, you have the address, you put it in already. You click to open it, and then you will click on the site plan preview or the editor itself. Now, in the previous session, we talked about the fact that when you have a site plan generated, we'll say it all the time, you do the alignments, you make sure that you use the aerial imagery, and you kind of align your property line, which is the white one. In the previous sessions, we have developed the 5-foot setbacks from the side, the C line and the A on here, and a 10-foot from the back. So you see it here. In InQI's world, what you see is what you get, meaning that if I see all these highlighted areas, that's what's going to come out in the export, in the plan itself, right? So let's go develop a couple other things. And you also notice that there is a pool that we enabled. Now, how are these coming together? These are called the layers. You know, we had talked about the preferences and all those things. We're not going to focus on that on this session. We're just going to talk about the layers. The layers are here, and the layers are here. So when we open a layer, you notice that in this one, usually the only thing that's, I would disable this one, this is what you see enabled, right? So what you see enabled, and also this is set on none. So this is the basic that you see, and you don't have the property line. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to enable our toolbar, our what we want to see on the ground. Some of it will trigger recognition by the artificial intelligence to help you find it. That's all there is. You could change what it looks like, right? You could change the colors, you know, the line style, the line width, all those things you could change here, and the change will get to be presented on the site plan itself. So for example, I'm going to enable the pool, and you can see on the bottom here, if you focus here, you notice that as soon as I say pool, there's dotted lines coming here, right? So dash dotted lines, and it was set on the line with 1, and let's increase that so you can see it on the side here. So we are going to increase that to 3. So you notice that it just got to be thicker lines. So you see it. Now, this is the AI that's recognized that that's the pool. Now, this is rectangular, so, you know, sitting in the right area, so it probably recognize it really fast. You could always make adjustments. We're going to talk about that as well. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about is hardscape is part of the things that we always want to mark on the plan. So I'm going to enable the hardscape, and notice underneath there's a bunch of stuff going to become available. This is, you see, all the hardscape became available, and you see that there is a number of different areas that needs to be highlighted. Let's play with these two first, and then we're going to talk about the other options. So for the hardscape, I want to see the label and the area is important to me. So that's one of the areas. And also for the pool, it is important to see label and area, and also for the existing roof, I want to see that in my site plan. So I just enable those, right? Okay, now let's go back to the plan. Remember, we just activated a couple of more hardscape and the pool here. So what does that mean? That means that on top, I have a pool, I have the hardscape. Now, the hardscape recognition did a decent job. He found all the things that are hardscape and more. But, you know, more than likely I would want to do my own, right? You know, maybe I'm working in the front or I'm working in the back. So I can just click on any of what you see. This is one of them. I can basically simply do the delete button. It goes away, you know, but now, and I'm going to delete as well. There is one here. So let me delete that as well. And the reason we do that is I can draw it. You know, it did a good job finding the pool. I don't have to redraw this. But I want to draw what the hardscape it is. So we're going to look at this part, right? On this one, we'll see that there is a hardscape around the pool, right? There's like this line is probably going here, going around. There's like probably some patio of some sort, right? Actually, now I notice that there is also this is a good example. There's a jacuzzi spa here, right? So this is a jacuzzi spa. It didn't get picked up by the pool. So let's go mark that one. And this is exactly how you mark items. So I go in, I click on use a polygon. The polygon is an easy one. We'll click, 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 and now close. So it's going to come back and say small pool. Yeah. Now I'm familiar with this project. Obviously, that's why my eye just saw it and I recognize it. But it might be that you are that you go to the side and see it, right? Or if you don't see it in imagery. So I'll put this spa, right? So this one became spa. This one is the main pool, right? All right. Now I can click on here, and the main pool is an object. I'll put in pool, so it becomes a pool. It was showing the object ID. All right, that's a good example of how you can use these tools that are here. You basically highlight what you want to see in your site plan, right? Okay. Now, next thing is let's talk about the hardscape. Now, hardscape. If I was going to draw hardscape here, what I would have to do is I will have to draw hardscape around this whole area, right? Mark it as hardscape, or I can basically trace these sections, right? Trace this section, come in here, come in here. I have to figure out how to trace myself around these items, right? I could do that. Or I could divide it into pieces, if I wanted to do that part. So let's just draw one big item. And then on the site plan, when it comes out, I can always, subtract the pool and other things as well. In a way, pool is also a hard surface because the water doesn't go in. So let's draw it. It starts from here. It goes here. Goes all the way out to here. Oh, I did it wrong. I did double click. It's a good example. So I double clicked and close it. Well, I'm going to click one more time. And then the second time, it gives me the options to basically now drag and modify, just like any other editing tool that is there. This one comes in here, and I'm familiar with this project. That's why I'm doing it this way. You could be going to the site and seeing the site and doing it. So this is now my hardscape, right? So my hardscape area is 681 square foot, including the pool and the spa, right? So I'll mark it as that. And I'll put it here, and that's on the hardscape part, that's the hardscape, and that's that. Now, you notice that it says hardscape and the space is right on it, and maybe I don't want to see that on my site plan when it comes out. So there's a way. You can always get creative. So I go to the height plan and I say, don't show me, I don't want to see anything, right? Don't show me that. So basically now it doesn't show me the object or anything at all, right? So just it's there. But I can measure and all that. So that's one area. Now let's go and take a look at another one. Now, one of the areas that a lot of designers always do is the driveway. It's easier, it comes in here. This one comes before, but the driveway is very, very clear. So that's also hardscape. So we're going to go develop a hardscape here. This is a hardscape on the driveway. So the driveway is here, here, and then we close it out. So that's the driveway, and we can mark it up. So let's just go in and turn on the marker, and on the hardscape, we do label an area, and this one we mark it as driveway. There's an option adding new assets. These are tags that you can actually take a picture of it and put it in. We'll learn all those a little bit later on, right? Now. So we have done a couple of hardscape. Now, what we want to do is we want to also highlight a couple of other things, right? So, for example, maybe you want to highlight the grass area. This is grass area. This is a grass area. So to do any of the things that you wanted highlighted in your plans, you simply go to the layer and enable that layer, lawn and grass. So we want that. And we want the square footage. So he finds it, right? He kind of, and this is a good example of, he tried to find the perfect example. It looks like it needs to be modified. If the modification is easy, you can simply click once, click twice, and then drag any of these and kind of correct it, right? That's one option. The way I like to do it is, I just delete it. I don't need to do that. I don't need to be tracing it. This actually found it pretty good because I'm familiar with the project. I can actually adjust this one because this one is easier adjustable. It is like this. I've been to the job site, so I kind of know that this is actually correct. You did very good recognition on this one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to draw this one. That's easier to draw. So now notice that we have lawn enabled here. So we go here and click on it, draw a polygon. So we start tracing our picture, right? So we do, and everything should be very close to the measurements that we want because everything is to the scale. This comes a little further out. It goes up to here because it goes about here. It goes here. It goes here. And it goes here, right? And now we have the lawn, right? Smaller lawn, bigger lawn, square footages, and so forth, right? So now if you look at it, now we have lawn, we have hardscape, we have the roof line. The roof line looks pretty good too. We can always make adjustments on the roof line if you wanted to, but we don't necessarily have to. This one did good. If you wanted to, with any of these objects, click once, click twice, and you can edit it if you wanted to in the sense. Now let's look at something else that we might want to do, and then we do some couple of exports. But you get the idea of how things can mark. So we go to the section, for example, here. Let's do line object. Let's do a tag. Yeah, these are it comes in handy. We enable other objects too. We can try to figure that out as well. Tree lines and stuff. It's easy to figure out what it does. Right now, let's go mic on top. You notice that. Now that I have more items here, right? Now let's go and take a look at tag to plan, right? Now tag to plan is a simple concept. So for example, you might have a sewer manhole out there somewhere, which I know, I've been to this project, so I know that there is one. It's actually sitting right around here, that circle. The image doesn't show it, but it is showing it there. So I go in and click, and I go to the area and release, right? It's going to come back in here and say, what is it that you're trying to do? So I'm going to say this one is a sanitary sewer manhole. So I selected. You notice that it marks it as SMH, which is a standard in the United States for sewer manhole. So I know that one. Let's do another tag as well. I know the water comes from this side. Actually, no, the water comes from this side. I've been to the job site. And you could be going to the job site to kind of tag this stuff in and then developing your site plan as well. So I leave it here. That's where the water is. I'll go here and I say this one is the water meter, right? So that's the water meter. You put it there. The electrical panel is on this side, right? On this side of the house. So I go in and I mark that electrical panel is on this side, is behind the fence. So this one is electric panel. So it has the electric panel here, right? So you basically are developing what you want to have in your site plan, right? Now you have a sanitary man line, and maybe you have, or you figured out that, and in this case, I know where it connects to. It connects directly down here. It comes straight line. So you use the utility and fence line. You click. You take it to where it needs to be, and you release. And what it would do is come back and say, what is that? And I will put in and say, this one is a sanitary sewer drain line. So he marks it as such, and you notice he labeled it, right? Let's also do the water. So we click. We go from here. This one actually goes in the corner here. And it's going to say, what is this one? And we're going to say, this is portable water. Right. Now the power comes from the side. You can see that in the corner here. You can see a little bit of area. Goes to the electric panel. So basically it connects from here and it goes to the electric panel. So I'm going to mark that as well. So basically from this post, there's a post here, goes to electric panel. So I click on that one, and this one is my power line. So electric power lines, right? So that also got marked in. Well, as always a good idea to keep saving your work. Now, if I look at this plan, zoom back out, I have marked the areas of interest that I want to see on my site plan. I have marked the power line, the sewer line, and all that. And basically, most of the things that I want are are marked in there. There's many options of what else you can do in the scenarios here. And as you play with these various options, you will find out it's easy to use. Now that I have this, I want to export it out, right? Because the idea was for me to generate a site plan. So as always save. Now we go to exports. Now, what are the exports? There are some settings on exports that you can adjust if you wish to do so. So you can, do low DPI, high DPI, and all that. If you customize your profile, you can do your own logos and so forth. You can select the email, export, all those things. These are simple things you can select. But let's do the export. For the purpose of this, I'm going to export all these formats so we can talk about them, right? So I'm going to request the PDF. SVG is a graphic file. I don't have the viewer, but I'm going to select the DXF. It's a format that many people can use for editing. I want to do a screenshot PDF, which is an interesting one. We'll talk about it. But before I do screenshot PDF, it's literally screenshot PDF to the scale. I would reset the view. I want to kind of keep it in focus, right? So I would say do that. We do property report as well, and you can download the latest imagery. So this is an important part. Maybe for your project, you want to see the latest imagery. In this case, is a month old. So you can download as well. And simply all you have to do is request a new export, and then it will start the process. So as it runs, it takes a few seconds, depending on the size of the property and what you had requested. And it will just start generating different file formats. So it's pretty quick. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different reports, right? Let's go through them and see what we got in a short period of time. Now, have in mind, I'm going through this training. I'm on the 16th minute, but I think we're still breaking any record on doing the site plan. It's just the fastest way to get a site plan, detailed site plan that's developed by you. But let's take a look at it. So this one is a site plan PDF. So we click on it, it will download it, and we view it. I'll show you where it goes as well. So it is, remember I said what you see is what you get? Well, all the things we highlighted is on your plan. It's to the scale, the setbacks, the property line, the roof line, the grass area, the front, all those things. And also you notice that we got this, the sewer line, the water line, the electric line, everything, what you see is what you get, and it's on the plan that you can provide to the city if you want to. It's not a survey, it's a site plan. That was one. Now let's look at the other one. Let's look at the site plan screenshot. This is a cool one. A lot of our users use this. Now what this is the exact same site plan, but is overlaid on image. It's to the scale, right? It's exactly to the scale. So you can take this to the job site and write on it or use it, but this is a site plan that is basically a snapshot of the image behind it. It's to scale. All the details are there as well. So that's that format. The CAD file, you have to have a CAD viewer, a DXF viewer. You can import it into any areas. Aerial imagery, when I download it, this is cool, right? So you will get the latest imagery, the highest resolution imagery, and basically, this was a month old, right? So in your work, and you can export all the other ones too if you wish to do that, like all the 10 years worth of imagery, one at a time. We don't do mass exports. But this gives you the latest imagery if you wanted to. You cannot find that on Google Earth or anywhere else, right? That's one. The property report is also an important one. So if I go to the property report, you notice that we have a lot of data of the property. Who owns it, what are the APN numbers, what are the acreages, what is the elevation analysis. There's a lot of information on what you can do, including some solar capacity and all that stuff. This is all available as well. Now, so you basically can generate a very detailed site plan fairly quickly. Once you get used to it, you just highlight what you want to see to come out of your site plan, and then you have your site plan. Right. One of the things that I want to mention here is that if you do go to the parcel information tab, which was this one, there is literally tons of information here. You can see all kind of information that we have on this property. We can use this property information, but there is plenty of it, right? All the information is there. So what do we do? What do we have now? We have now the most detailed site plan that you as yourself, you as a designer, you as a homeowner, you as a architect can develop on your own, very much detail oriented and very much to the scale, and start using it for your project immediately, right? Now, if you go to the project itself, you'll notice that within the project folder, now we have also an export folder, and all these things that are exported are sitting here as well. So these are your export records, as you bring them in and do the work. Now, the next level, what we're going to talk about is going to be the project binder. We'll talk about that part next, and then we're going to talk about media, which is part of the project CAM. But pay attention to these videos. It will make your process of creating a site plan really easy to deal with.